will be our first possibility of seeing a zone defense this year. We saw two plays inbounds against Georgia. We scored on both of them. But Auburn is traditionally a zone matchup type team. We have yet to see in a live game more than one possession in a row of that. It's a unique. They have unique. I use the word unique because they have a player named Unique, but a good post player, a double machine in there. We've had some success against them the last couple of years. They've added some pieces. They're very, very tricky. It'll coming off not knowing what happens on Thursday, not knowing where we're at. Obviously, going from out of conference back to in conference is something we've never done. This is the first time in my coaching career we've ever played a non-league game in a league season. So I don't really know how to navigate that, but a team that'll be coming in that's got the size inside to give us problems and perimeter players who can keep you in front. So be a good test for us on Sunday for sure.
Brett, go ahead.
Like they've been dealing with a lot of COVID issues. I didn't think I heard that they're finally getting back. So I don't know if they've been shorthanded for a long period of time. Auburn.
Yeah, which is always, it's the great debate this year. Are you rested or are you rusted? Are you, tested or, it is very, very weird this year. Now, we've seen it firsthand. Normally on January the 27th, it's January 27th for everybody in your season. And while the date's the same, everybody's bodies are in a different place. We've got 17 game dings and bruises and, hurt confidence because of the outcome of a game. Some people haven't even played 7 games yet, or 8 games. And some of these players' bodies only have 8 or 9, 10 games, not to mention practice. So, man, you just don't know how a team's going to come out. The unpredictability is at an all-time high. So they have been dealing with it. But some people deal with it and they're better for it with the time off and the rest. So that just brings another element of uncertainty into it with us. And their lineups change and you have a hard time scouting because, it doesn't do you much good to watch 4 of their conference games because Unique Thompson didn't play. Well, guess what? Unique Thompson's going to play, and when she's on the court, their game plan changes. So it just gives you another layer of uncertainty and uneasiness. And you know how neurotic coaches are anyway. It just gives us another variable to consider.
Scotty, go ahead.
Mike, just with Unique Thompson, just what qualities or traits does she have that makes her so effective? I was just looking at her rebound numbers. She's got like 60+ offensive rebounds.
Yeah, she's got that go get it mentality. She assumes every shot's missed. She doesn't take a play off. If you look at if there's 75 opportunities for her to go in a game, she's probably going 72 or 73 of them. Making contact with her is not good enough. You've got to make and maintain, and then you got to beat her to the ball and beat her to tip balls. It is it to me is one of those things that the number of times you go directly correlates to how many you get. If you only go half the time, you're going to get less than half that number. So she's relentless. She knows her value to her team. It is something that she takes great pride in. And that's a quality that is pretty rare for it to be in rebounds. There's other stats that people will go at with passion and a lot of pride, but that one's a pretty rare one. So that's what makes her hard. And then she's very, very, she's in great condition. She's relentless with effort. She doesn't tire up. And then they put her in good spots. Terry, she's Boo Williams' sister. I don't know if everybody's made that connection, but Boo was one of the great rebounders of his day and age. And I think that's just something that comes out in all that family. And Terry gets it out of somebody on our team every single year. Now it's Unique Thompson for the last, seems like 8 or 9 years. Guys, she seems like, she's got to be a senior by now.
Dudley, go ahead.
Had somebody ask me on the radio this week, do you think he wants to win the UConn game more or the conference games more? And I answered that you probably would say the next game. Just talk about, that in general.
Hey, listen, beating UConn would be a massive feather in our hat. It would give us another win against the top 5 team, a top 3 team in the net. So I'm not going to sit here and lie to you and tell you that game wouldn't have more value. But I want to win them both. And in this particular year, Dudley, I think it's a little different. I do. I think it's a little different. So it's okay to say that. The NCAA came out and said you don't have to have a winning record to be in the NCAA tournament. Why would they have said that if they don't anticipate there potentially being some teams that are NCAA tournament worthy that don't have a winning record? So this particular year, I think the UConn game carries more value. And that's not a slap at Auburn. And I think Terry would look me in the eye and say I was lying if I tried to say that it's not. We want to win them both. And on Sunday, the Auburn game will become the most important game. But, I think people know me well enough to know that I'm not going to try to lie to you guys. UConn would be a massive – not many people, not many programs, not many teams, especially this year, will be able to say that. So –
Jason, go ahead.
I don't know if you can get back to your caller and let them know and explain it to them the way I did. I don't mean it as a slide at Auburn at all, but the last thing I'll say too is I've always said winning a conference championship to us it will be important. It'd be great to have the banner up. It'd be great for our university, but in the grand scheme of things, you don't play a balanced schedule in our league. You don't play everybody the same number, and you don't play everybody home and home. So I don't know how we crown that and bring value to that. I want to get in the tournament. I want our team to be in the tournament every year that we can be and have a good enough seed that we can play as deep into the postseason as we can. And if that means you finish 10th in our league, but you played at South Carolina, at Kentucky, at A&M, at Tennessee, at LSU, which we will do this year. I said that in the preseason when people picked us third. I said, those people did not look at our schedule. Didn't look at our schedule. If they did, then they were – I don't know what they were looking at because we've won twice. No, I won't get into all the numbers. They still look at the schedule. So follow up to your follow-up. Yeah, Auburn's going to be an important one on Sunday, UConn on Thursday.